Hello, hello, and welcome to the Wolves of Ron. Last time on, our heroes plowed daringly into danger with daring do, with a great task before them, killing a monastery and stealing all the cool stuff inside. Will they succeed? Well, probably. But will all of them survive succeeding? Maybe not. We find ourselves drawn now deeply into this conflict. And, returning to the initiative order, it is the general turn of your allies. Who, have broken through and do cluster around the foe, but don't necessarily make super significant headway for your cause. To be fair, they did just, take down a knight. They're doing a lot of work here. Wait, isn't Trogborg dead?
No, I'm alive.
Oh, I was for. What was your last character's
Lug
name?
Lug.
Lug Lug. I was like, did I accidentally copy paste a guy off the ship who should be dead? All right, no. So. Speaking of, the great hero, Trogborg. What do you do, my good sir, as battle erupts? The last real leader of the enemy force is this priest.
Yeah, I'm gonna move up to just tap.
Now you step over the body of a fallen comrade to move into range and give battle. Oh,
wow!
You swing
first
your
one too.
Swing your bastard sword wide, swing, sink, and there is an awning. There's a covered walkway that divides up the once stately, now bloodstained and ripped up grasses of the monastery. You hit one of the tight archways, ting, and with the hard reverberation, mortar flying in your face, you go to guard your face against this dust cloud, and you drop the bastard sword, thudding onto the corpse of the acolyte next to you as you cover your face for but a moment. It is the Paragon's turn. The Paragon is presently being submerged and drowned by Yarla. Yarla, you must contest a strength check.
Okie dokie! This is gonna be bad. Alright, well, off to a somewhat acceptable start. Let's see. Oh boy. Can't wait to do 3 of these. Yep, failed on my first. Fucking Christ.
Alright, so you splash around the water. You had her thoroughly enough that she doesn't make them as attacks, but you do kind of plop into the water, somewhat crouched, and so does the Paragon, who's no longer drowning. That's going to go poorly for you. You have an ally who has advantage on the scenario. I'm going to go ahead and guess that what Album would do is cast Magic Missile. Magic Missile. Oh, I have to hit the cast button. Album raises their hands and casts Magic Missile. That was almost a crit. Purple fire nonetheless rains down towards the foe.
Nice.
Tinging them in the side for a sizzling as salt water evaporates in mist off of them. It is Gaztog's turn, Tog. Did I accidentally fuck up and make you invisible or something, Gaztog?
Oh, hey, I've been muted this whole time. Great. No, I'm actually right here.
Alright, I marked you as dead somehow. Alright, you're right here, yeah. So, Gaztog, you know that last time on, you butchered this dude, decapitating him, and all of the acolytes on his side, pretty much, begin to run away. They're running towards a building on the far western side of the structure. Your comrades are a little torn on whether to give chase or join the rest of the battle. They kind of look to you for guidance.
I look at them and in a moment, I still mulling over the fact that I'm still alive. And after cleaving this person, I just tell them to fall in behind me, and we're going to essentially bum rush this priest.
All right, they raise their axes and join you in the charge. They, press in around as best they can. One of them swinging for the guy who stands in the way with the great axe, barely missing the acolyte. The other swinging for the priest himself, majorly missing the priest himself. You're stuck in the thick, though. What do you do, Gaztog?
Actually, I'll recant what I did here. I would say they run up first. I would have followed in behind them, I would say. And I would probably try to do a bit of a backstab on this one here.
Alright, so this guy's like under the awnings, and he's trying to fight the people in the awnings, getting axed out by the people in the awnings. You swoop up from behind one of them and slide out to try and give the backstab. Give me that attack.
Let's go to the weapon. Great axe. Roll the attack. It's not advantage for backstab. It's just
It
damage.
is a regular attack, but if you hit, you're gonna fuck him up.
That's correct.
Ooh, these dice have been deflated, haven't they?
Yeah.
This is, we're gonna have to check and see if the Patriots did something to these dice before the game. Maybe a little air out of them. Alright. So. The Berserker himself, raging and swinging his axe, last clear leader of the allied crew, swings wildly and delivers a devastating blow, dealing 8 damage, hacking into the very flesh of the enemy, taking almost half of his remaining health away as he leads the charge. Yarla, you're in the water. You and the Paragon in the salt water by the boat. Just 2 ladies having fun in the water. What do you do?
Fun is exactly what we're having. So, remind me again. She's wearing some pretty heavy armor, right?
She is wearing plate armor. She is not easy to hit.
I'm not wearing any armor.
You're wearing, I think.
I'm wearing leather. Is what I'm wearing.
You're wearing leather armor.
All right. So I think the deeper I get her into the water, the better an advantage I'm gonna have, and I already disarmed her. So I think I'm just gonna try dragging her deeper, because I can swim. So,
okay.
Let's do another contested strength.
All right, give it to me.
Ooh.
You get in the water, and attempt to drag her, and she stays up, but manages to get her hand on you and is holding you below the water.
All right. Tables have turned. Acceptable. If there's one thing, though, that I've learned from being a lifeguard, it's that people who are actively drowning are really good at drowning other people. So, I think I'm in a good spot. Anyway, next turn.
Alright, so the Nords, generally speaking, have their go. They more or less hold as is, but just representatively, they, hack at the enemy. Not making much in the way of damage progress, but convalescing around the enemy formation. Everyone's pretty much dedicated to crushing this priestly formation, and they have them totally surrounded. So, like, how much longer could it be? Why did I put a dead skull on Trogborg? I keep doing that. Alright, it is the Trogborg Turnborg.
That was a lot better than a 1.
Indeed. So, you were attacking the priest, correct?
Yeah, that's the only one I could reach.
Unfortunately, priests are AC 15.
Sad. Yeah, I know.
So, you got closer. Did you do anything else in your turn? You kind of hold steady with it.
Yeah, I'll hold steady.
Alright. So, the priest, who presently has Holy Flame on his weapon, makes 2 mace attacks. The first mace attack is east against the Berserker, striking him. And also dealing... So, he kind of taps him, but the Holy Flame burns him for even more. Oh, the Berserker was up at 1 gaming anyway. They go down. And then the next tap comes to Trogborg. A swing and a miss. Yeah, missed by 1.
Thank God for AC 13.
Alright, and generally speaking, the priestly types run away. Those who haven't already joined the battle, seeing how overwhelmed the scenario is, begin to barricade themselves. Some of them make a poor attempt to break contact. However, it only gets the Watch Brother here stabbed in the back. Ugh. As he dies, but in the process, the others sort of begin to evacuate out to this line. And, yes, so, Yarla, it's time for a strength contest. Oh! The critical success, you managed to drag her down with you now. You're both underwater. You're both underwater, neither of you can get your heads up. Splashing around, thrashing around. Album, above, looks down, and fucking... Yeah, these are pretty good spells, but the only one that's relevant really is Magic Missile. Magic Missile! Finally failing and losing access to the spell. Album kind of starts to peek back inside to see what's going on.
It's advantage, so did you roll the second dice?
It automatically does it, doesn't it? Or am I tripping? No, it didn't. You're right. Let me roll the second dice. 1d20 plus 3. Ooh. Still a failure, but good catch. Alright, Gaztog.
Yes.
So, you take it a slight morale blow in the sense that one of the leaders is down, but you guys have the overwhelming force and the priests are being forced to back up. It looks like they are retreating. What do you do?
I immediately start giving like a resounding howl or like just chanting and boosting everybody up, getting everybody hyped that we've run them off.
Hmm.
And then Trogborg is good. I would look around and make sure all of my compatriots are good, like at least in the surrounding areas, and then if it looks like they're going to continue to push on and clear out all the lowly ones, I may try to go out and see if I can find Yarla and see what happened to them.
Yep, it looks like the battle in here is pretty much won, although the priest is probably going to continue to cause casualties to accrue until they go down.
I just feel like I don't have the HP to be fighting a priest.
Indeed. So feel free to make your movements about the field, if you will.
I will run and jaunt my way down through here, stepping over the dead bodies, until I find wherever you deem too much movement.
No, yeah, I would say here you see them splashing around. Splish splash, they were taking a bath style.
Okay. Who looks like is getting the upper hand currently?
It looks like it's currently Yarla.
Okay. I'm going to ready my bow. I have one arrow. I'm going to ready my bow just in case it looks like I can get a clean shot on the Paragon. I kind of just want to, if I can, either hold an action or hold an arrow until a shot lines up.
Yeah, you'll take the shot if the Paragon drops back up.
Right.
All right.
Not
Yarla.
even necessarily a kill shot, much as just like a maim shot, like something just to give it a little bit of an upper hand if I can.
Mm-hmm. Yarla, you're underwater with the Paragon. What is your strategy here? Continue to drown her underwater?
Well, I think if her head is actively underwater right now, I think the damage is mostly done. I just have to keep her from A, taking her armor off, and B, walking back to shore. So I think my first move is to kind of... I think getting myself free of her is sort of my my goal now. And once I get free of her, I can take the high ground closer to shore and make sure that she stays down.
All right, make me a dex check.
Oh, can it be a strength check?
Yeah, I'll call it a strength check.
Okay, cool. I'm a little better.
It's an easy check. I'd say you succeed. Yeah, all right. So you're positioned up. You don't get much else done this turn due to all of the swimming and heavy metal and stuff.
Fair enough.
The Nords move in. Yeah. The clash continues. Trogborg, when this happens, would you be like first to the fight and like join them at the front?
Yeah, might as well.
All right, I'll let you pop up in there, and the Nords start to run through some of the holy chambers as well, and bash down various doors. One of them gets up into the bell tower. Violence, broadly speaking, ensues. However, your comrades do not acquit themselves well, and it is down to you, Trogborg, to land a serious blow against the foe.
All right, moment of truth. Let's see. Does that hit the acolyte?
Yes, it does. Is that two-handed?
Yep.
Alright, you were gunning for an acolyte, actually. Well, they only have 4 HP, so you actually just completely slaughter this bozo right in front of you. You hack down his middle, and he is ripped and blooded everywhere. Slaughtered. Trogborg. Upon seeing this on their collective turn, the priest orders them to like run and hide themselves, and they do. The priest himself, however, darts back into the main building and says, "You shall not defile the Hus Madeira," and kind of goes at him with his flaming mace. and landing a critical bonk, but not enough to kill. Oh yeah, enough to kill this brave Viking. He's down to 7 already. Holy fire erupts around him. Album, you're done. You move around. You ain't got no shots. Running up to help a little, maybe. Gaztog, you're still waiting for the shot, but the enemy is still underwater. And if Yarla continues to do her job, then it's going to stay that way.
Gotcha. Still holding on just in case.
Alright, so this is going to be the final test to see if the enemy, lets water into her lungs, and this is pretty much over. Pat, you're going to contest strength against constitution. You roll the strength,
Okay.
she rolls the constitution.
All right. No.
Oh,
God damn it!
she's holding her breath. She can probably do this for a couple more rounds. Do you do anything else in
All
particular
right.
on your turn? It looks like she's gonna take a while to suffocate, but you do have the upper hand. Do you just want a holding pattern?
Time is on my side. Yeah, I mean, I'm beaten bloodied. I need her to die before I can, even get health back. So I'm just gonna wait it out.
All right. The drowning pattern continues. The general advance of the Nords continue. 4 people, one of whom is not even from your lands, one of whom is a local boy, run up. The half-drowned man and Vermson all go in for it. There is a swinging of swords and clattering of shields and clubs in this holy place. None can break the armor of the holy man, save for a short sword from the side, cutting him deep and letting blood flow scarlet over the Hus Madeira. You hear a lion's cry, a mark of great displeasure reverberating from the very stones, as if though Madeira, the lion of order herself, hears what happens here and cries out against your injustice. I'm sure there will be no consequences for your rash actions. Meanwhile, Trogborg, your comrades are running forward.
Yep.
You hear that the main fight seems to be in the Hus Madeira proper.
Yep, I'm going in because I want to go and attack the priest. So let me just. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you run over yet another dead comrade, go in axe swinging to get him.
Yep, and it is one away.
You try to axe him a question. He meets you with his flaming mace. It comes towards you. Does it strike you?
My AC is 13. So what about ties?
It hits. And he deals not just a 5, but a 9. We're gonna do
I'm still
Trogborg
alive.
at 3. Holy flame burns you, but you yet stand. All other foe who would stand against you, they've abandoned any effort. Your guys are trying to climb in windows and getting poked at. They're trying to beat at barred doors, but your main comrades are in here with you, trying to figure it out. You have someone with a short bow in their own bell tower shooting down at them. Here in the center of the Hus Madeira, you see a proud stone octagon with vibrant stained glass windows, multicolored displays pouring across the blood stains amidst the guttural shouting and swinging of weapons. Paragon continues to not drown and fight against Yarla. The album does nothing. Gaztog. It looks like the Yarla Paragon situation is going to hold here. You're holding your shot?
Oh, how dare
How far would I have been within at least enough earshot to have heard all the commotion going on inside?
I would say yeah, because there's a window. There's a window here. And you're like here, so yeah, I would say that you're aware that there is a fight happening inside the Hus Madeira at this point.
Okay. So if I would have heard it, and it sounds like we kind of had a tide turn. It looks like Yarla's got this. I would probably push back in and go help Trogborg, more than likely.
All right, if you come to this window, you should be able to get a shot. You want to fire at the priest?
Yes, as long as I'm not endangering Trogborg by doing so.
No, Trogborg can dance to the side.
Gotcha. Loose this arrow.
Arrow whistle. Oh no, the negative mod getting you. Damn it. Had only you not developed that carpal tunnel in your younger years, you would have easily lain below the foe here. Alack and alas, the -1 dex does you, and it skitters off to the side just narrowly. Alright, Yarla. Strength versus con to see if you finish this.
Can I actually take my sword out and have advantage on trying to, just finish the job?
In the sense that you're like leveraging it to keep her from getting up, or are you trying to actually stab her?
Well, I would use my sword to finish the job. Otherwise, I could just continue drowning her.
You want to like attack her? I'll give you advantage if you want to make a greatsword attack. Because you're a sea wolf who's used to fighting in the waves and the wakes or whatever.
Also, I have a lot of leverage from where I'm at. And that
you
is
also
insane.
Have nothing but twos. Oh my god.
That was literally insane.
The twosie fairy strikes, and the paragon kind of like rolls out from under that, and looks like she's probably about to come for you on her turn. It is
Christ.
The Nords, generally speaking, make their press. And you know what? They all do a remarkably good job. Your allies toss the place and lock down the far building, and it looks like it's really just down to killing the priest and then the people who are held up, and they attack. Clubs bipping, boffing. A great axe finding its mark. And a short sword coming up short from sliding in. Trogborg. This could be the decisive... Oh, Trogborg.
Finally!
You crack deep into the shoulder, and bone and marrow and blood go flying. There was a horrid roar as a holy man of Madeira is slain in her very temple, and you let out a guttural roar through which all know, including those watching through the windows, that there can be no question that the temple has fallen. A great victory has been won.
I'm gonna have his skull because that's like an honorable thing in Viking culture or something.
Right. They tap him. It is done. The Paragon rises from the waters to grasp at the sword. Contest strength, Yarla.
Alright.
Yeah, she doesn't get the sword and she remains underwater. She attempts to continue to hold out. Oh. Meets it, beats it, yeah. She lets out a bubble as it happens, and you see the salt water rush into her lungs. She's desperately striving to get out, but she can't. And, Gaztog, you hear a voice in your head as the dragon says, "Know this sign, and do not question me again. Withdraw your men from the western end of this fetid rock temple, and behold my magnificence."
Immediately upon hearing that, I would do as it says and beckon the western men.
They're like, oh, and they back up a little, and you guys hear a voice that thunders a cracking whoosh of air as you see a dot on the horizon descend. And oh my god, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No. It's fucking Ogdyke the Swamp Dragon, who whooshes in glorious full view, because you will actually see Ogdyke. And strafing over the western hall, where so many of them are held up, rends the roof, cracking off tile and unleashing a horrible downward swamp gas as a smoggy breath overwhelms. You hear it choking in a fetid and they barely manage to undo the front to drop out the front door dead as this gaseous breath has slaughtered all within. And yeah, the dragon circles as if though about to do it to the next one and thinks, withdraw them from the northern building. And
I would immediately bellow out something to the tune of, "Ah, cloth men, see what your god does now versus mine."
And they'll look around and say, "His god is a dragon?" And they say, "It's a damn good one. Get the fuck out of the way." And this continues to go on as they pray to Madeira. It is Yarla's turn. Yarla, you're fucking drowning. I don't want to just sit here and say contest strength.
I really thought that trying to do a coup de grace would work here.
I give you advantage. Oh, you have advantage. So here's the thing. Plate armor is AC 16. But, like, she's not moving. So she's not, like, gaining any benefits of move. You're hitting the armor, and she's just like a tough... It's like you're stabbing a horseshoe crab underwater. You know, the horseshoe crab isn't getting out of the way, but the blade isn't piercing the shell. But you knock some more air out of her, and I'm going to say if nothing intervenes by the end of the next turn, she's dead.
Okay. That works.
And in fact, I mean, honestly, the battle is meaningfully over. Because what the final thing that happens in this battle is, one more bellow of smog breath comes out, and the gas attack just leaves these guys who've done everything they could to barricade, scrambling and crawling at the walls, as this green fucking gas comes down. This horrible swamp dragon's terrible attack. I mean, this guy barely manages to get halfway out a window before still succumbing and dying. The dragon says, in your mind, I will see you at my spires, for all your hue and cry, goblin. Come, fatten yourself off the wealth of these cowards, and then come. Great plans await you, in service to your new god. And with that, Ogdyke fucks off. And the dragon just... There's a sonic boom almost as the wind is shot down and she flies off to the west. It's a brutal display, but you finally rise, Yarla, with the Paragon drowned to death beneath you on the shores of the temple she was sworn to protect. And with that, the conflict of immediate Moida is over.
Pull her corpse back up with me so we can loot it.
Yes, it is a heavy corpse, but you managed to do so. So, the enemy are dead, and you now, you and your compatriots sort of walk around the temple, and everyone's dead. You're just walking around, and there's shit to take, and for Shadowdark rules, we're gonna kind of like, take it in turns, but don't worry too much about that in terms of, like, you can get anywhere in the monastery in a single go. Yarla.
By the way,
Yeah.
Do I count as having killed her for the purposes of my Odin ability and gaining
Yes.
1d4 hit
Yes.
points?
Roll 1d4 to gain those hit points.
All right.
Actually, Trogborg, you have the same thing, don't
Yeah,
you?
I was like, wait, I forgot I
Oh
had
yeah,
that
no,
too.
top up, top up. Odin smiles on you this day. Heroes of the Andric Isles, who have lain low the foes of these greedy Southron gods, and now do their spoils lay out before you.
What's her
You, the
sword like?
despoilers. So, Yarla, after you're done securing the corpse, where do you head first within the temple as the looting commences?
What is my first priority is what does her sword stat wise
Her
have
sword.
going for it?
The thing about the Paragon is she wields a greatsword, a normal greatsword, and the only reason it was a +1 greatsword is she used her Blessed Blade ability, and that was actually like a
Got
Paragon
it.
ability. So it's a very nice greatsword. You could surely sell it for full list price. You know, hopefully no one will ask where you got it. You don't sell it anywhere friendly to this religion, but it is not itself. The great prize in the equipment on this foe is the plate armor. Of course, as you have seen, it has, shall we say, drawbacks for people who live their lives on the water.
Right. Yeah. I was tempted at first, but having slain her the way I did, I'm no longer quite as tempted.
I would
Um,
let you. It would destroy the plate in many ways, and you'd be left only with like individual parts. But I
mhm.
would let your crafty, because someone has like the craftsman background. I would let someone strip out like the chain and undergirding of her full armor set, and you could receive a set of chainmail out of it if you wanted the halfway covenant position. But you know, sometimes leather armor and a shield is the way to go. She also has
Yeah.
a silver symbol of the lion upon her, which is worth 10 GP.
Okay.
Um, it's clearly
I
an
haven't even been
endearing
in the
holy symbol.
building, so I'll just pop into
Yeah.
see what's going on.
All right, so you
Let
just
somebody else take over.
yeah, you rip the holy symbol off, and then it's off to the races. Trogborg,
Yep.
you find yourself in the Hus Madeira, a proud stone octagon with vibrant stained glass, marked with divine script in cerulean blues, royal purples, and brilliant whites. You feel like people probably recited Madeira's law here. There are stone benches lining the walls. A chiseled altar of fallen starstone at the center holds a freestanding piece of golden calligraphy, which is worth clearly 50 GP. There are stairs to the south that ascend 10 feet to the floor above.
Well, I'm gonna get the calligraphy, but I also want to go up the stairs too.
All right. Trogborg yoinks that off the altar, pops up 10 feet. What I've done on this map, like so. And you find yourself in this upper chamber, the scriptorum. There's a proud library with brilliant crystal windows, um, which you feel like are worth 100 GP apiece, but they take 5 gear slots to carry one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 windows. If you could successfully knock all of them out, that's 800 GP. There are 20 simple books here on subjects that seem to range from law to herbalism. There are 6 beautifully illuminated manuscripts, and there's one large tub of powerful stag glue and 5 bags of golden powder in the northern corner.
Cha-ching, guys. We're rich.
Yeah, as long as you can successfully deinstall the brilliant crystal windows. They did say this was a place so worthy of raiding that you'd be good if you could take it. Gazdog.
I would immediately tell all of the crew to be finding all of the bed sheets, pillowcases, things like that. Start cinching together some bags, making some essentially some loot bags, and take as much shit as they can pack.
All right. Yeah,
Um,
They quickly souse out that there was a bedroom at 3, which is deeper into this structure, and they, for their part, you know, get over there and start creating the loot bags, assuming they don't already have something. They're just, running around
Right.
stuffing stuff in. The guys are, they're slightly hesitant to go into the recently poisoned chambers, but they're kind of checking the other ones first, poking around.
And then I would also tell them to forget not that we need ship rations as well.
One of
So
them says,
tell them as much as we love gold, we can't eat it.
and they say, I think I found the storehouse. And they kind of like, knock open this place, and they're looking around to see if they can find food.
1.5 divvy to the men who packed that back to the ship.
Oh, they're all, working on finding shit. The gas dog, do you personally go and check any of these rooms?
I personally would first walk into the chamber. I want to walk into the chamber, the freshly gassed chamber. I want to see if it bothers me.
Do you want to go to the northern one or the western one?
Actually, firstly, I would probably walk into the one where the priest is.
Yeah, the Grease one,
Because I want to loot the priest if we haven't already. I didn't catch if we did.
He has a mace and a holy symbol worth 5 GP.
Yoink. Those are mine. And then I would walk toward the western one this way, yes.
Yeah, so the door has been opened by the guy who barricaded himself in there. And you can see this was clearly a dining chamber. There are simple wooden benches. There's a brilliant wall carving that depicts the words of Madeira and a 10-foot impression of a lion painted with gold. And you get the sense that the kitchen was up around the bend. You don't feel disturbed. Inherent. I mean, it looks like they died horribly, and there's a milkiness to the eyes that suggests they went blind as they died. But other than the terrible nature of the swamp dragon's breath, it's not like you feel a spiritual disturbance here.
Gotcha.
And if you knock open this door, it's a kitchen.
Okay.
And you see that there's a grist mill, grindstone, flat flour, powdered bench, and 3 chickens in a short coop, or rather there were. They are quite dead now. You can smell flour and burnt bread. Mixed, of course, with the noxious fumes of lingering poison that has been dissipated.
So it is not salvageable for human consumption?
You would not... If you were starving, you might consider it. But you think it would be... You could roll me an int check to see if you think that this has been fouled.
I'll be the first one to tell you I'm not the smartest guy, but a shot's a shot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You miss 100% of the chances you don't take. So there you go.
Yeah, you reason that...
Do I reason that I could eat it, but nobody else can?
Vidier's chamber... You reason that most of the food doesn't seem to have been stored here, only brought here, like through the kitchen window, when it was time to cook it. And it's already been turned to flour anyway. You think that if it was wet at the time or in a transitory state, possibility of it being poisoned. If it was already cooked or if it was grain, probably not. But you further reason that like the food is probably just not even worth risking here because the real larder is in that room to the south that your allies have found.
Okay.
And with that, you take a look around. Yarla, you are in a monastery that is now yours for the robbing, as it were.
Excellent. So, what hasn't yet been looted?
Oh, hi, Nearthopic. Hi, Hungriest Clone. Oh my gosh, I can't believe there are people trying to know. Hi. What hasn't been... I mean, you see the central chamber has been turned over. You see Gaztog walk to the west, but the rest of it, I mean, people are around, but your Vikings haven't necessarily done a great job thoroughly looting yet. So, like, this room, no one has been in. No one's probably been thoroughly to the gatehouse or anything in this eastern structure. No one's been to the northern structure.
What's the northern structure like? And also, where do the people... Like, where are personal rooms and stuff?
it seemed that the personal rooms, because when the bedsheet order got given, people rushed over here. It seems to be in this structure that seems like a stout, like, I don't know, cross between a schoolhouse and a church type structure with a bell tower on it. And the northern one looks more like an office, perhaps, of some type, or some sort of like residence of an important person.
Let's go there. Residence of important person,
All right.
usually loaded.
All right, you step through the gassed corpses and finish breaking down the door, and you find the Vadir's office. There are letters all over, and there is a dire porcupine quill used for writing on the desk, worth at least 15 GP.
I'm not sure that I'm incredibly literate, but who does it seem most of these letters are being composed to or received from?
You go over the letters. They appear to be written to 2 mayors and 2 nobles. They entreat them to join the cause of the princess for swift security, assuring that she is devout to Madeira. He has a half-written letter to the seminary, reporting strange demonic sightings around the region at J9 and Q11.5, which...
I relay all of this information to the wizard.
I will put that there. And you also find a potion of vitality, which you recognize as the thing that brings health.
Oh, I yoinked the shit out of that.
Yeah, do you wanna sip?
Not right now.
You know that it's okay. It is a long-term
that feels
potion.
like something I'd want when I'm in combat.
Yes.
Oh, it's a long-term potion?
Well, the thing is, it will restore you, but you permanently gain what's gained from a potion of vitality.
Oh.
So it'll raise your max HP.
You know what? Let's go for
Pop
it.
that cork, glug, glug, glug. Roll your class's hit point die. What's your class die? Is it like a E8, maybe? For a sea wolf?
It probably is a D8. Let me check. Yep, D8.
Alright, roll 1d8.
My gods of dice don't fail me now.
Oh.
Fuck you. God damn it, Loki.
Well, you do find yourself at a higher max HP of 13, and I'll give you 1 hit point healed from that. Tossing the adjacent room, 13, is the Vadir's chamber. You find herbs, poultices, and tinctures lining the shelves alongside a workbench. There are 12 assorted bundles of herbs, 6 vials of ink, and 3 jars of dye set to mature here. There is also a root of last lament, which Elbum recognizes as something which will automatically stabilize someone if it's put in their mouth.
Well, alright.
You also find a lockbox under the bench. Do you try and pick the lock or otherwise crack it open?
Damn straight I do.
Alright, give me a dex check if you want to pick it, or a strength if you want to bust it open.
I think you already know which one I'm going to roll.
Mm-hmm. You kind of throw it. You kind of throw it at the wall, and it just bounces back at you, and you're like, ah.
Well, I'll go again, but probably somebody else wants to go first.
Yeah. Drogborg, you look down over this place, and you feel very wealthy indeed. But of course, you'll have to figure out how you're going to pry out these windows. Do you want to go investigate other chambers first?
I'm going to get those smart people downstairs because we have natives, and be like, "Hey, do you know how to get uninstall Windows?"
Yeah. So you call upon Vermson, who's like, "I'm but a humble village boy. I knew not." But the half-drowned man is like, you know, my cousin worked as a glass blower once. And he kind of says that there should be like, you know, a latch point that had to be mortared up because they had to like slide it in and then secure it to the metal frame. And he begins to ponder with you how you could knock that out on the inside without cracking the windows, and then kind of like, you know, lower them out.
I had Windows replaced, so this is just so triggering.
You had window what?
I had Windows
Real.
replaced in my place, so
Oh
it's just
no.
like, yeah,
You have recent experience. All right.
yeah.
With that, you loot and scoot and yeah. You manage to begin dislodging the windows in an organized fashion. Gazdog, you want to check out another chamber, or you do hear Yarla trying to like bust something slightly to your east.
Um, yeah, I would say on my way, like passing through, trying to look for another chamber, I could probably stop by and see what she's into.
Yeah, so she's got a lockbox that appears to be, you know, somewhat locked. I say kind of redundantly.
A lockbox that's, locked.
It's a heavy metal
Fragile.
box. Um, and you know you walk in and you can see there's some nice shit around here that she's gathering up, and this lockbox seems pretty impressive.
Won't budge.
Yarla, does the water in your ear keep you from busting this box? Are you off your kilter?
Oh, you know what? Let's chalk it up to that.
Would you
You
like
want
some
to take a
help?
stab at it?
I won't take a stab, but I'll surely pick this lock, and I will
Well, maybe
try
that will
to.
yield better results than my attempt.
I will try to attempt to pick the lock or open the lock using thievery.
All right, give me that dex check. I'll give you advantage. You know you have a lot of time here.
Dex
I didn't pray to Loki
check.
this morning.
Advantage. What? Wow. Okay.
The mechanism. You feel like you could probably unlock it with time, but at the moment you're not making great progress.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
neither did you.
I will. I'll keep working at it. It seems probably an unfamiliar lock that I'm used to. Probably something made in another place that I'm unfamiliar with. But I bet I could probably figure it out once I understand the basics of the mechanism.
You poke at it. Jarl, would you do anything while Gaztog is taking further look at the lockbox?
What else is there to explore?
The eastern structure and the southern. I mean, the southern areas your boys go through and more or less relate to you. They found the storehouse with things like rope, small hammers, and food. And then there's also number 9.
You know what? I kind of want to take another stab at the box, just for kicks.
Oh, I'm so stupid.
No.
Okay. That's fine. The contents of the tinctuary are the contents that I accidentally told you. As you further look around, you find a dresser with 3 fine robes, and behind them is a silver box that contains 3 scrolls. You
Okay.
continue to try and bust it open. Yeah, I read you the tinctuary instead of the Vedu's chambers initially. But it's
Okay.
fine. You find it all.
That's fair.
You guys bring it to you. It all happens the same way, more or less. Drogborg, you pop the windows out, and the guys start carrying them off to the ship. What do you do?
All right. Time to see what else is here. So I think we're gonna grab some of the books and get that over.
You grab up the books, and you'll leave the scouting of the other rooms to the rest.
Actually, I want to check another room. What else hasn't been seen?
Um, the southern room, the gatehouse, and the rooms of that like easternmost building, pretty much the east side.
Oh, gatehouse, because it sounds like it's gonna be fun.
All right, you go to the gatehouse. It's a pretty simple structure, and within you find thick 15-foot oak double doors. It's a simple room with small table and chairs. The door launches from the outside. There's sort of a way to the walkway here. As you walk by, you do notice there's the watch house. There is 3 simple beds in there where they seem to... There's a spare mace in that room. So you get a spare mace as you check these rooms. These rooms are checked.
Ooh, cool.
So, you know, bloop, bloop. Meanwhile, Gastog, one more dex check with advantage.
Dex check, advantage.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what we like.
You click it open, and you find a velvet-lined box that has 4 potions, perfectly unlabeled. And, yeah, they're 4 potions.
I will secure them in such a way that I know that they will not spill onto me or my person. And I will take note to show them to our adept party member at a later time.
And,
Unless I can find something in the room that maybe might indicate what they may have been.
you
Or is
don't...
there
Oh,
like
you
a-
see this case has room for a total of 6 potions. You see, one of them contains a pickled newt in lavender. You know, in a lavender flask. Flask with milky liquid, and you also see a fizzy fizzy lemon beverage. So there's a golden elixir, a translucent liquid, a pickled newt in a lavender flask with milky liquid, and a fizzy lemon beverage. I would say that Album can inspect those for you and give you Album's best guess as to what they are.
Okay. Once those have been stowed away,
Album believes the pickled newt is a polymorph potion, and the fizzy lemon is a potion of healing, which is a more traditional, it heals you type potion.
I would probably take my best chances on the fizzy lemon now and
Yeah.
just go ahead and
Yeah.
see if that works out for me.
All right, you go for the fizzy lemon, and you are presently in the levels between 0 and 3, meaning you restore 6 hit points. Usually it's bad when the DM rolls for you, but clearly it keeps Gaztalk alive. Alright, boom!
Yeah, that's handy.
Good. The lemony goodness fills you. It's like 7-Up from heaven, and you are just totally refreshed. Yarla, would you like to toss the last of the rooms?
Yes, indeed.
You walk into the eastern structure where you discover a prayer hall. Find some incense sticks. You check the southern chamber, where you discover a very sealed off room. There's a white wood golden cushioned chaise lounge in here. But it looks like whoever was in here was bundled off in a hurry and isn't here anymore. There's a short maple side table holding an elegant silver carafe, however, and a half-finished 10-foot-tall painting on the wall depicting 2 lions clashing. There are many dies arranged on the shelves, and but the brushes and everything else is gone. This would appear to be an artist's room, and it appears the artiste is gone. You roll me an int check.
All right, I shall do that.
Who
You know, I
knows
get
why these
nothing but bad
strange...
rolls.
Who knows the ways of these strange Southerners?
Mm-hmm.
They're always talking about rising
Okay.
again. Who could say? And
Well, I
just
take
to,
the silver carafe.
yeah, and a brief overview is that
An artist lived here. Is there any booze?
you will note that so there's a dead guy here, right? But
Mm-hmm.
his visage in death is a little off. In fact, so your companions are pretty much done up and wandering around. I would say they even catch up to you for this part if no one objects.
Okay.
Gaztog, Trogborg, and you kind of like walk into this room as you've like, you topped into the southern room, come up here and they say, "This one is strange, and look at that knife." And this person looks a lot more like the guys who jumped you at sea with the Black Reaver. Not only that, they have in their hand a wicked-looking blade, a glinting obsidian blade that trails black smoke in thin curls.
Wait, whoa.
Doesn't look like anything these others would have used. It was hidden somewhere. Ripped it up from the floorboards and tried to turn it on us before we put an axe through his head.
Where was it hidden? Show me.
And they show you, and it looks like there's like barely any crawl space and just was partially dug up into the dirt. There's no... thorough inspection says there's nothing else hidden there. But,
I really feel up the corpse and see if it's got any kind of identifiers on it, if there's any sort of symbols or, you know, anything that would give away the goat as
so
to
you look
exactly
all
who
over...
those people
You look
were.
all over, and you can't think of anything, but then as you really go over this corpse, you find on the underside of the tongue, there is an unholy-looking symbol that has been singed there as if though by a brand. And it is the symbol of Memnon, the chaos god that seeks to usurp their sister Madeira, the red-maned Leonine.
Alright, and I cut off his tongue.
+1 Memnon cultist tongue.
Writing that down in my treasures.
And, yeah. The blade, beside is a, one of you... I mean, Album would notice it, come in and say that it is a witch knife. And, it looks like, you can actually use it to sort of do a blood sacrifice as you cast damaging spells to hurt others. Lawful beings cannot wield it, but it counts as a +2 dagger. Does anyone seek to take up this blade?
I would take it if nobody else wants it, being a thief with backstab and all that.
It is yours.
I will gladly trade a two-handed axe for it.
Oh, most welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a black smoking sort of blade. It comes with its own like wide leather pull string scabbard that you can conceal the smoking blade in. But it's a very impressive obsidian knife, and yeah, it's a pretty evil fucking relic to have hidden here. Like you can just tell this is not agreeable, and you're not lawful, right?
No, sir.
Yeah.
I'm not.
You get the sense a lawful being could not wield such a weapon. And other than that, you toss the Knight's Rest. There's empty racks, vacant stuff, and a sharpening wheel, which if you're willing to carry off is 5 GP and takes 3 gear slots. It seems that, yeah, based off of the stuff here, there was room for 4 knights, and 3 of them were gone. Which is part of why you won with as few casualties as you did. Or perhaps one at all.
Did I get any indication from the letters in that other room as to where the knights had departed?
Well, the intel from the other crew that gave you this idea and came with you was that the ships were going to... There were signs that they had sent their knights to help defend the capital after a big raid hit it.
Right. And that wouldn't be our friend in the Memnon cult, right? That would be some other. That would be the other.
Well, you heard it was a Viking raid, but you haven't really stopped and talked to a lot of people about it yet. But and you know that someone had gathered people for a really big raid, and that your original leader, Grutenir, deliberately did not go with them. You don't know why he wouldn't go with them, but you know that he wouldn't. And you know that those are the people who were headed to hit Hadhu City.
Interesting.
Yes, with no surviving berserkers among the other crew, they are completely without any first among peers who would follow them after the amazing display of prowess and the apparent summoning of a dragon. The entire other crew, while very flush with wealth, is prepared to follow yours, and you absorb them completely. So,
Fair enough.
yes, there has been much loss of life, but there has been much gain of wealth. And now the crew really, I mean, you can't stay here, that's for sure. There's signs of decimation, and this is a holy place. And if, the less people who see your ships leaving, the better. But the day has just begun, which raises the question of where you will go in East Kirlizia.
Oh shoot! It's breaking out the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else is excited as I am. Clearly.
I'm still trying to figure out how to add a +2 dagger to sheet.
Let me see.
I
if
got the dagger. I just don't know that I can add the +2.
Let me see if there's a magic bonus section if you can edit it.
Oh, I do see a part where it's checked. I can check it as a magic item. But I don't know. I don't know what kind of effect to give it. I can look at conditions.
So, the group gazes out upon the field. Let me see if I can get that for you. You gaze out upon the field, and now indeed is the moment and hour of question and truth. Oh, it's the item bonus box. Yeah, hold on. Oh no, that's just the roll. I'm silly. So, the party finds themselves questioning which way to go next.
All right. What were our options again? We were thinking about. So we just did a huge fight. We probably need to rest. I think. Right. That's the smart thing to do. Rest and maybe sell some of the shit that we just stole. Can't imagine the stained glass windows would be long-lived in our longboats.
There is the question, of
I think
course.
we need to find a place to offload some stuff. If only we hadn't made enemies with every faction thus far.
So you have a lot of stuff to sell. Given the city has recently been hit by Vikings, they're probably going to be paranoid about anybody coming in with sus-looking loot. You know that there is a town, there's Bay Ferry Town to the west. There is Steedbon to the north. There is also the All Kirlizia Alehouse on Grut Island to the west. And while that doesn't necessarily have a great market, it is a place where people come and go of all sorts. And you might find merchants who could perhaps purchase some of this.
What did we know about All Kirlizia Alehouse? I feel like it's been mentioned a few times now.
Yeah, it's kind of like a grand bazaar type deal. It's like probably like a major trade city kind of deal.
It's not-
where people come in and out is like, right?
It's not really a city.
Oh, it's just kind of like a tavern on a hill.
Yeah, but like people park their boats outside, and so you can run into, you know what I mean? Like you might. It's more of a truck stop but it's like a truck stop where someone could have pulled up with a merchant ship. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
So you could do business, or you could swap loot for other loot and liquidate the less hot loot locally. You know what I mean? If you run into Vikings who are coming from, say, West Curlizia, and they have something that is really important there, but that the East Curlizians won't recognize or give a shit about and be willing to buy.
Well, it's got my vote.
We have like little. We have like little. I guess for the lack of a better term, like little one man John boats, right? Or no?
Hmm?
Like if I wanted to branch off and go on my own for a bit, we have a boat that I could do that. With the little.
You don't really have a. Well, you guys used the raft to catch the pleasure sore, if you'll recall.
Ah, yeah, that's true.
There. Wait. Um, the boat that you guys were going to steal from the past didn't arrive in the future because you didn't actually leave with it in the past. So you don't have that sailboat. There are two long ships, and I mean, like, they could drop you off because the place that the dragon keeps telling you to go is E6.5. The All Curlizia Alehouse is B8.
Yeah.
If you were to pull up on this island, you know what I mean?
Right. I just vaguely remember something about going to the necromancer on the Spire of Swamp. Remember, I sent the letter on behalf to the Lesser Wizard regarding meeting Serena or whatever her name is. That was Hodhu City, I think.
True. So you guys could try and belly of the beast it and roll up to the city, um, and go
But
meet
if the
that
dragon's
wizard.
telling me to go to 6.5, I would rather go there first. I'd rather drop off there. If
Sure.
they want to drop
Is
me
it?
off 6.5 while they go and go a
Well, is
spoiling
it
and a
something that
whoring if
you?
you do.
Is it something you have to do alone? Because we could. I mean, as much as getting rid of these
Mm-hmm.
windows is a top priority, we could afford we could do a little
Right.
jaunt into
I
the
mean, we
swamp if
stole a
need be.
larder, so we can like rest up and do this,
Yeah.
and
By the way, you
then
gain +6 ship rations. Your hearty Vikings eating a little bit faster than monks.
Yeah, I don't think it has to be something that I do alone. I just didn't want to bother the offload. But if we want to offload first and then kind of do a small jaunt over to 6.5, I'm good with that too.
That sounds great to me. I mean, I'd be
I'm
happy
behind
to
it.
join in on the dragon investigation personally. So that sounds like a good plan.
I would absolutely love my compatriots to come along for sure.
All right. So do you want to go straight to E6.5 then, or do you want to settle in like here and then like overland it through the swamp? You could actually
I think
bring the
the
boats into
general
the swamp because this is a
this is
swamp.
what if we general consensus we bank about right here ish,
Yeah.
offload toward B8, have a night and do our thing, and then 6.5 early morning ish.
Yeah. So the group that's
We
gonna
want to
take
try
you
to get
about
rid of our hot loot.
it'll take you about all day to get there. You sail hard and the weather strikes and you are racked by heavy rains. The half-drowned man is concerned. The heavy hail actually begins to form, and that's the problem. Your sails begin to get ripped, and knuckles get cracked. You knock free riggings. You lose shields off the sides of your boat. It's a really terrible um, storm striking you, and as you pull up, you're kind of left with this murky decision. There's a fen here that you could put in alongside. You would remain more or less exposed to the hail, although you can take down the rigging. Or you could try your luck parking the boat inside of the swamp. It would require a bit of a push, but the stinking mangrove tree's canopy would give you cover from the continued damage of the hail.
I think we can muster it. I think we can get it up in there if that's what the rest of the
Alright.
party thinks.
All right. This is a
You got
sailing
two sea
related
wolves.
roll. If any sea wolf wants to make me a strength or a charisma to either put their back into it or tell others to.
I can definitely roll for strength. If unless anybody has a better than a +2.
I have a +3. But we can
Ooh,
both do it, right?
I agree.
Would I have normal or advantage on this?
You have advantage because you're a sea wolf.
Ah, good, because that roll sucked.
Yeah, that would be bad. You could fail that. All right, you all do a great job. You push, and the boat, both of the boats, sort of slide into the swamp, and okay.
I just now got around to reading my little notes that I write for their sessions, and the last line I wrote was, "I severed the head of an acolyte, and the rest ran like bitches." That's funny.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So
Love
the
a good
group
campaign note.
finds
yeah. Gotta love
themselves.
campaign shorthand. Running like bitches. The
Um,
second time being a nat 20 death save, Lee rolled, and I lived. I severed the head of an acolyte.
All right, what were you saying, Lee?
so you guys pull up in your long ships in the swamp, and as you do, you note that there is movement on the horizon as something else paddles out from the dark woad. Um, you are all about yourselves and prepared to meet whatever might come to face you here. And you see the prow of yet one more long ship poking out, where indeed you discover three berserkers and 8 Nords, who gaze upon your longships laden with treasure with great adoration, and they seem to have their own as well. They say, "Hail and well met, sons of Odin. We Tvorks, brave and true, salute you. Tell me, whence do you hail?"
Hmm. Do we give them the right answer? That's the question.
Well, of course. Are we not proud of whence we came?
Good point. Uh, so we would relay where we hail from in a friendly way.
Yeah. You tell them the Andric Isles, and you have some Tvork crew members now, and they're like, "Oh, hearty and brave Northmen. We heard that you've launched a great, your kindred have launched a great raid on Adhu City." And there's some murmuring, and they can't help but notice that you're full of treasure. They're also full of treasure, and it just naturally comes about that their captain, the foremost of the berserkers, offers, upon seeing the brilliant, glistening glass pane windows, to make an exchange of several silver and gold artifacts that don't seem religious, but seem to be more related to state and government, and like wise figures stood around in this weird like box. And you look at it, right, and you have around 800 GP worth of window, and they're offering you about 600 GP worth of fancy silver gold box. They explain that this is a treasure from West Kirlizia, which will sell far more favorably in East Kirlizia, as the people have no attachment to the civic religion of the West Kirlizian Republic here in the Kingdom of East Kirlizia. So you should be able to offload it on any merchant without a big issue. They also kind of note that, you obviously have holy Madeiran symbols, and they don't give a shit, and they're going to go back to the Tavoric lands where the people they sell it to won't give a shit. So why not, scratch each other's back? But they're essentially propositioning you at a 200 GP deficit convenience fee.
Sound terribly bad for me, but I'm not.
Do you see the Vikings on the ship?
Not anymore.
I. Oh, that's very funny. I put a symbol on them, and the symbol made them invisible. Never.
Oh, amazing. I'm not averse to taking this deal, largely because this is a big pane of glass and it could break. We don't plan on going, softly into the night at any point. We're just gonna keep being involved in combats.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't hate the idea. We could absolutely do that.
So, you wind up accepting the deal, and they, also camp here for the night. You guys gain the benefits of resting. Correct me if I'm wrong, but do you full heal after a rest, or do you roll one hit dice? Do you gain level many hit points? I probably know that.
I don't know.
I thought
Let's
it was healed
check.
as full up. What did you say?
Character who successfully rests regains all lost hit points and recovers any stat damage. Additionally,
Yeah.
rejuvenate. And sea wolves feel free to select, but more or less everyone is topped off. Nobody is down health at all.
Perfect.
And yeah, that with the coming day, it is the time arrives when you could find yourselves at the All Kirlizia Alehouse if you felt so inclined.
Are we going there first, or are we doing other things first? Was that our plan?
I don't see any reason why we couldn't go to the ale house first and um ask around, see if anybody's been that way, not go into this totally blind.
Okay.
Somebody should
Sounds like a
claim to
plan.
be a cartographer trying to map out the area.
Certainly, certainly.
All right, the All Kirlizia Alehouse.
Correct.
Do. I'm going to briefly upload that Amagio, and then you will all see it. Then you will see. You'll all see. And you might not because I have blinded you. Ha ha ha. But no, really. The
Ale
part.
house has the best lights in the business. I am blinded.
Yep, you guys pull up with one of your crewmates, and you find yourselves the All Kirlizia Alehouse. And it is a happening spot. There is a terp. This is like the water. Some people are sitting with small boats here, and there are the outlying structures. And this is just a map of the upper floor of the Alehouse. And you arrive, and you gaze upon the All Kirlizia Alehouse. And do.
Wow, majestic.
Indeed.
How is there a descriptor of it? Is it a weird shaped building, or is it just kind of like a
I mean,
standard
it is
tavern?
a weird shape. This is sort of like there's like a little wattle fence around here, big windows. and there is sort of an awning over this. It's like a patio here. There's a slanted green tile awning on this wooden patio where you see some Nords and merfolk are out drinking. And
How peculiar.
there's also a dartboard.
We love a good
Yes.
dartboard.
Nothing I do can make this a copy.
Best of my skills.
And
Little
they're
did they know I'm a
drinking.
world-renowned dart thrower.
I could have
We
sworn.
shall
Oh,
see.
of course. I
Trust
got
me,
every other kind of
Lawrence.
folk, but the merfolk aren't uploaded. Are you kidding me? Oh, they are actually Sahagin. Chilling with the Sahagin.
On
Cthulhu
first glance, we thought
Fhtagn.
they were merfolk. We figured out later that they were Sahagin, and we were glad we didn't call them merfolk.
Yes. And, there is a lot of patrons in the main building as well, which, There's a boat barn out here. And, there's, some wait staff. And people are just sort of, enjoying the place. Yes. And there's a mysterious barman. Token coming soon. And yeah, there's multiple groups.
Yarla's first priority is to order a drink.
Yes. So let me. You fucking kidding me?
Only the finest of meads. Bartender, I require your strongest of meads. Cannot handle much
This is not
strongest.
really going to be a great show off of our art, but I didn't upload anybody who looks like a pirate. Alright, so there's some pirates, there's some more of the other group Nords hanging out, and
I'll make sure I get you one for next time.
there are some soldiers here. I mean, we already definitely have it, I just haven't. And some of them seem to be East Curlisian, some of them seem to be West Curlisian. They're all around this room. There's a lovingly honed and waxed wooden pillars in this alehouse pub. Pelts line the wall, stuffed with chairs and tables with just enough room in the middle to dance. A tall and proud fireplace roars at the room's beating heart. Small wicker fence to the southwest girds 3 chickens and 1 pig. I do have a pig. There are some chickens beside. And yes, there are pirates. Pirates on the bar side. Some Nords at the bar. And some soldiers of East and West Curlisia, respectively, near the fireplace. And there's a waiter going around taking orders. So, this is the milieu that you approach. Alright, you wanna go and get a drinky drink? You're free to come through this main hallway probably and find yourself at the bar. They put down a nice stout mug of something that froths. Your crewman kind of hangs out with Album outside, and Gaztog and Trogborg, what are you up to? Are you finding seats at the bar? Are you poking around?
Oh, I'm going to be. Oh, yes,
No, you go ahead. Good.
No, you go ahead. You're the leader.
I would just be kind of saddling up, getting kind of acquainted, uh, and then slowly asking questions about the area, specifically lay of the land, things like that. Just trying to get an idea of what we might be walking into or toward.
Do you want to talk to that about soldiers, pirates, other Nords, or Sahagin with about that?
I would say probably the pirates. They would probably be more apt to talk to me than soldiers and anywhere else.
All right, so you pull up. Give me a charisma check to see how they initially feel about it.
I was hoping you would not ask for that.
Well, actually, hold on,
but
there's
it's
something
okay.
called a reaction roll, which I could also use.
Mm.
I never
I have a pretty
used-
good charisma. That's not a good roll though, because dice suck in this game apparently.
Let me,
True.
what's your charisma mod?
Charisma mod is +1.
They are curious at first, and then you pull up and start to tell them Viking tales or whatever you hit them with. They find a friendly fervor for you, and they say, "Ah, yes, it's been a while since we've met one such as you. Tell us of your adventures, and we'll tell you all you need to know. Yes, yes. What do you care to know about this place?" And they lean in conspiratorially almost and say, "I've been up every coast of this country, lad. I know it all."
Well, being a goblin from lowland areas, I started out as kind of a slave working under a man, and at first it was just carrying the bags, carrying the feed, trying not to get backhanded, you know. Um, as it went along, though, he tended to trust me and started to show me the ways of map making, and I like to travel to and fro from place to places with these compatriots and various people that I can catch a ride with, and I just like to map out areas more for fun.
The pirates kind of nod, not necessarily believing the story, but absorbing it.
And then uh, I would say um, I could probably use my ability to look around and go along sightsee if you needed it for something in this area. Obviously, your knowledge would not be without reward.
And they say, we might know all sorts of things a map maker might like to know. But tell me, is there anywhere you care to be cartographizing the most?
And then I would relay to them the area that I would like to be just east of here. Like I said, more toward that B or E6.5 area,
Hmm.
and on into like E7 ish up in this area, all around kind
Yeah.
of this
So
area here.
they say the first thing to know, and he pulls out, and they actually have ordered an omelet with some chive, and they say eat, and they kind of like take some of it themselves, and they're enjoying this lovely fluffy omelet, huge in fact. Like there's one between like the table. Everyone's scooping up and enjoying some very light, airy egg. Do you partake?
Um, I would give it like an initial, like a not necessarily a sniff test, but like just to see if what it's got in it, things like that. And then yeah, I would probably spoon a little bit out enough to be courteous.
It's a richly textured omelet, and a bit of meat and chive and garlic, and it's light and airy and like no egg you've ever tasted before. Is saying, first time eating raptor egg, is it? This is the special of the house. You should know that the raptors live to the far side of Grut Island. Anyone who goes near there risks running afoul of them.
Raptors, you say? I've never heard of such a critter.
They are a lizard that runs on the land upright, and they steal eggs. But lo, have we stolen their eggs back, and now do we cook them deliciously. And they kind of guffaw at that, and they say, "But yes, it's a lovely tradition of the area. But you should know that there are tall cliffs as well as a swamp that one could take a shallower draft boat across for mapping related purposes." And then of course they say the most important place is of course the Goo Lagoon.
The Goo Lagoon, you say?
Yes,
First you say raptors, and now you. I. This sounds like an adventure already.
yes. Well, the Goo Lagoon in deep. Uh, it is a dungeon. Indeed, some of the braver souls who are here will try to go and delve there. Um, For amidst these spires, there is one with an ancient hole bored there by people they used to call the Sea Combers, an ancient people who sailed these waters long ago.
What came of them?
Who knows? Maybe they drowned. Ho ho ho! Everyone laughs. It's
Maybe
tales
they
for
stole one too many
scholars.
raptors' eggs.
Oh ho, perhaps. But the raptors are not too great a threat. Really, when you get into the goo deep and you learn what it's named for, you find its dangers. Slimes and the like. But I hear good treasure can be pulled out of it.
Hmm. That should be enough to talk these fine men and women that I've sailed here with into leading me astray into this area. I appreciate you for your time and all of your knowledge, and I buy each of them another round and
Yay!
quote unquote kind of misplace a small bag of maybe silver at the table.
Nice. So, meanwhile, um, Trogborg,
You
Jarl drinking at the bar, Gazdog is eating raptor egg omelet with pirates. What are you up to?
Well, what is Trogborg going to do? Can we sell our stuff here?
So there are lots of people who are interested. There's a different crew of Nords here. There's a crew of you might call themselves freelance merchants, but they're clearly pirates here. Um, and there are soldiers of East and West Curlizia with their respective ships here. You could talk to the man at the bar, or perhaps somebody else about selling things. There's some Sahagin. They don't necessarily tend to trade in luxury goods, but they might know about people who do around here.
I mean, you had me at Sahagin, so I'm going to be talking to these people.
All right, you roll up to the Sahagin. They're tossing darts with some of the Nord crew, and at length, they give you a guttural, fishy explanation. You see, you're going to want to find one of these rich people who hide in their stone houses. Yes, yes. But you wouldn't want to go north. No, he's stingy. Go too far down the river, you get to the city. A lot of money in the city. Yes, but you should go to one of the discreet places to sell your things, yes. They say, looking you up and down and profiling you as a Viking. Yes, one of the discreet places. You will find them in the ruined parts of the city, especially west of the river. There is a woman with a warehouse. There is always good business to be done in her warehouse. There is a little pier. Come with money and ready to do business, and she will greet you. It is one of the few places not ruined on the west side of the river. They nod. Aside from that, you could try your luck with the lady of the Bay Fairy town. Yes. She has much wealth and many soldiers. Or perhaps that prince in the swamp, if you have weapons or something. Yes, the prince in the swamp. Or if you have magic, perhaps the wizard in the swamp. Yes. But if you want to sell many glittering treasures, the city. Yes, yes, they come to an agreement between the two of them as they toss darts. The city is the place for many glittering treasures. But be careful and go to the discreet places. And that's more or less the sum of their advice. Yarla, a shady-looking bartender, slides you the drink and says, "Well, I can't say I've seen you here before. First time in East Curlizia?"
Who gave me away?
Your sunny disposition Everyone around here is too stuck in the peat. Ho ho ho, he chuckles heartily.
First time I've been accused of having one of those.
Well, he shrugs. I think you'll find we have new standards here. Our southern air must prove agreeable to you.
It does indeed. I found it to be quite rewarding thus far.
And there's a sort of a glint in his eye, and he says, yeah? You know,
Yes.
he kind of thinks about this for a moment. And he says, you know, you're a seafarer like yourself must be in want of a good ferret to take care of the nuisances and help provide the rewards in a seemly manner.
See. Sorry, what was that last bit he said?
In a seemly manner. Provide rewards in a
yes.
seemly manner.
So is he getting at that he could either help us offload stuff, or is he saying that he can give us direction?
Give me a wisdom check.
Fair enough. I and my character might be a little bit stupid. Oof. Damn, that sucks, actually.
So, he sees that you don't quite take his euphemism, and he says, perhaps the gentleman at the north end of the fireplace could be of assistance to you.
Much appreciated.
I pay him handsomely for the and I ask,
And what is it that I'm about to put in my mouth?
And he says, oh, it's a frothing ale.
I top one back, pay him for it, and order another before heading over to the corner.
Where is this gentleman of which I've been informed?
So, you look over and you find that there's 3 soldiers here, and these are the West Curlisian ones. You approach them, and or you could, move your token over there, and they look to you with no small interest, and they say, it seems like 2 of them seem to be meeting with the third, and they grumble something about bodyguard duty, and as they arrive, the door opens at the north, and stepping through comes an elf.
So these are the West Curlisians meeting with an elf?
Yes. Well, one of them mentioned bodyguard duty, and they're meeting. Like 2 of these soldiers are meeting with the third soldier. And also, did you draw this, or was this?
That looks vaguely like something I drew, but I don't.
I have a random.
No, I don't do my eyes that way.
It's a random
think
elf
that's somebody
sketch
else.
that I had somewhere in the RPG folder. I'll replace it later. But yeah. So steps out, says it's a pleasure to meet you, and she kind of looks around, and the soldiers sort of shrug as though to say like I don't know. And she kind of looks you up and down and says, "Say, you seem like the entrepreneurial sort. Are you here in Curlizia to do business?"
That indeed I am. I
I'm
was
something of a
informed that
traveling merchant
Someone over here
myself.
had opportunities. Ah, I see. Are you looking for to add to your stock of wares?
Well, I'm looking to offload a few spices, and I might be looking to onload a few other things.
I'll see.
And,
Perhaps you'd like to peruse some of our wares. We being traveling
certainly.
merchants.
You know, why don't you join me in the upper room? I've actually just rented it for me and my companions. And, she kind of gesticulates the stairs and, departs with her bodyguard, another whom appears, and these others kind of likes to give a wave.
Freya wills it.
And do you guys join Yarla as you see her sliding upstairs?
If
I
I
kind
would
of
have
make a
caught it,
beckoning
then
gesture.
Yeah,
yes.
you see this as she walks by.
motion.
And Trogborg, so you are invited to this meeting room, which again has like the fireplace running around it, and by the crackling fire, you enjoy some light libations. As she says,
Meet my merchant friend.
forgive me, you mentioned Freya. You wouldn't happen to be from the Andric Isles, would you? There's just something about you that gives the impression.
I suppose I can't hide from whence I come, yes.
Hmm.
And I take it you're from the other Collegia.
I am. Tell me, do you have any great love for East Curlizia?
My love is to my people.
And your people want treasures taken from foreign lands, correct?
That would be correct.
And if you happen to kill a few important people along the way, that would just be a sweetening of the story, wouldn't it?
They're not important people to me.
That's what I like to hear. And she looks you all over. Does anybody else give me a different reaction?
I'm very stoic. I'm not like giving an opinion one way or the other. I'm just kind of intently listening and.
She says, I go by the name Sororia Yefane, but the wanted posters call me the Silver Ferret. I think the barman sussed that you might be interested in a little dalliance with me. I'll be frank. I have no interest in East Curlizia's present state continuing whatsoever. I have thousands of gold worth of spices, and not only will I compensate you for hot looted goods in same of an untraceable commodity, but I will reward you with 300 gold pieces worth of spices for every major blow you manage to deliver against East Curlizia. Should you kill a Vedir or a Modir of the monastery or the seminary, or if you kill a mayor or a lord or a lady, I will compensate you. Furthermore, should you manage to kill both the princess and the prince, not just one, I will easily reward you with 1,200 gold pieces worth of trade bars.
I put the blessed sword on the table and I say,
Are you willing to pay for blows already dealt?
Her eyes widen and she says, that is a paragon's weapon. Where could you have gotten that?
Found it myself.
She found it in a river.
And
I extracted it from a river. Sure.
so she says, there's no way you took down the seminary. How big is your crew?
Was bigger.
She thinks and says, Covenant Point?
out of character. Is that
Yeah,
that the
Covenant
place?
Point Monastery is actually the place you attacked.
Indeed.
Well then. I trust you have a few trinkets that corroborate that. I hadn't heard about the attack. You must have come straight from there.
I toss her the holy symbol that I pulled off the priest.
She catches it, turns it over in her hand, smiles, and says, very good. Yes, we have more than enough cumin to compensate you, I assure you. The bags of spices will be transferred discreetly away from here. Now then, on to other matters. I'm happy to liquidate treasures taken from important places in this land. You can find the barman will be able to facilitate a meeting between us if I am not here. I am a wandering merchant. Obviously, me and my travels are very discreet. So I won't be able to tell you about anybody else who I work with, and likewise, I won't pry into your affairs. But just know that when all this is over, if you find yourself in a rough spot, West Curlizia will welcome you as a free-spirited individual who is no friend of unjust kings, nor their squabbling brats. Now then, if you have no other details to inform me of, I'll be happy to have our people work out the arrangement and liquidate your treasure, or should I say, powder it into a tastier form.
Sounds excellent. I have one question for you, though.
Yeah?
I pull out the tongue and I put it on the table.
She looks at the...
You don't work for the Memnites, do you?
She looks at the front top of it, and you turn over and your eyes are wide, and she says, "No." Damn. Where did you find that?
Same place I found the sword. Pulled it out of a river.
Her eyes furrow, and she says, "Nonsense. Did a cultist of Memnon in the vicinity, I mean, were they torturing them for information, or...?"
Seemed like it might have been an infiltration.
Infiltration into Covenant Point Monastery? She kind of thinks about it, and she says, "Well, I must admit we are in destabilizing work, but we have no love for the chaos gods, and we do not seek chaos to rule the land. We seek a true order that is not marred by monarchy. We want East Curlizia to join the Republic when the monarchy falls. Sadly, the religious leaders of this land are deeply allied with the monarchy. However," kind of hangs and says,
Pity for them.
"it would be a shame to advance their cause unwittingly. I'll pay you
That's
for the
sure.
Vadir of the Covenant Point Monastery, but consider the hit on the seminary called off. Do what you will, obviously, but I tell you what, find me a real ringleader in this Memnon cult and I'll pay you to kill him. More importantly, though, get information out of them. This isn't a factor that I was briefed on." She then looks at you and says, "How much do you know about the raid on Hadhu City?"
Not enough.
"There are rumors that reavers and cultists were seen amongst the attackers. That they defiled the Temple of Madeira, and once they had, they withdrew their support, leaving most of the Vikings to get slaughtered by the knights and soldiers. That chaos cultists had induced the Northmen with seductive promises of easy loot and fast battle.
Troublesome. Troublesome news. That would explain why we weren't dispatched alongside them.
She says, "Well then,
We've already encountered them once. We're no friends of theirs.
well then, perhaps we have a common enemy. We will take these lands for democracy, not some chaos playground full of mutants and demons. We have common cause."
You can
She raises a flask and says, "You can leave here with wealth and get your revenge. And we will have a land worth sowing again. Now then,
You can sow the land, and we shall reap the fruits on it already. I feel we have a deal.
a deal indeed." You can see the West Curlizian soldiers with her maybe look a little bit less secure about this whole thing, but the Silver Ferret is prepared to do business. And in short order, she makes it so. Her donkey is brought out. hundreds of GP worth of gold are exchanged, and unless you guys want to hold on to anything in particular, raw goods, raw holy goods that would be hot to sell from the monastery are translated into commodity spices of equivalent value. And yeah, the Silver Ferret has done her business with you. And the day is young. Do you guys want to head out towards the eastern end of the island?
I've done
Yeah.
enough talking.
Yeah, I would if
What
we were
thinkest
ready to
thou?
go.
All right. So your party saddles up. And do. So, you guys head to the eastern end of the island. It takes you much of the day, but when you arrive, you are treated to the great reward of having to muck it into the brine in order to get at your desires. There are tall pillars of stone here, crashing up out of the waves. You have to like come down a large 30-foot embankment to get here. There's no way to approach on boat from the swamp to the west, and there is all of these spires, and you see one of them clearly has like a cave entrance that appears to almost be additionally moist and have this sort of membranous look around it. You suspect it might be the entrance to the Goo Deep. In addition to that, you travel, and you arrive here, and you hear a roar as something flutters out from the swamp. And you see Ogdyke crash into the waves and send the water up, splashing around you in a grand display. The dragon rears back, all the scale and sinew and hard form of the body evoking every inch a swamp tree, a hanging vine, and yet in perfect, violent, scaled motion. Reared back, Ogdyke looks down upon you and speaks in a guttural, silencing yell. Yells, "Behold, mortals, I am Ogdyke the Swamp Dragon."
I stand up and I kind of put my chest up forward, and as I stand at the edge of the boat, I kind of take one knee and I say, Ogdyke, thank you for your intervening at the monastery. We are truly grateful.
Yes, yes. You had bothered me for favors before you had even proven yourself. But now you will serve. They point a clawed finger at you, Alan, and he says, "You have proven yourself very resourceful and a long-lived sort of man." He smiles toothily with a row of dragon's teeth down at Gaztog. She rakes her gaze upon the others, and she says, "I have delivered you the treasures of the monastery with half the fight you might have had. Now, you will repay me in kind, knowing that great treasure awaits down my path as well."
Whatever you shall ask, you'll have it.
There are two things in my mind. In one, there is a passing acquaintance who I would see granted greater convenience. In the other, there is a foolish water elemental I would see evaporated to steam. The towers of swamp and sea. The Swamp Tower is beset by foolish mortals who bother the wizard there, who is of some use to me. The Tower of Sea is where a water elemental gathers allies and power, and a very special pearl. Before we advance any further and you learn more of my plans, you will render unto me one of these two services. You will either assist the Wizard of the Swamp, or you will destroy the water elemental of the sea and make off with that pearl while you're at it.
We will see that it gets done.
Good.
Maybe both.
Yes, very good. We will be, she looks at you meaningfully, Gazdog, in touch. And
I look forward
beware
to
the
it.
dragon of the sea. You stand no chance against her should she take you in the open waters.
Thank you for the advice, and thank you for the heads up.
She rears her head back and cries and says, "Good."
Where might I find you?
And she says, "You will not find me. I will find you."
Understood.
And before she goes, though, just pause a moment and considers. She looks at all of you and breathing in and breathing out. She says, "At the bottom of the goo deep, there is one whose power is great. So great it could crush the likes of you. You have already made him your enemy, though you know it not. And yet he could be the decisive tool that slays the one who killed your captain. Do with this what you will." And with that, you're sandblasted with water as Ogdyke launches back up and disappears around a stone pillar and flies into the sky. You're left stood in the briny wake with each other.
Good ally to have. You've chosen well.
I do believe we have found favor in what I don't know, but I do trust it. I do believe we should make a plan. Do we want to help a wizard or gather a pearl?
As you yourself said, both.
Indeed.
Aye.
So,
Why not both?
reminder. So the Tower of Swamp is here. And the Tower of Sea is here. At the center of Ringland. You are here.
Okay.
Well, really, you're here. Also, Goo Deep, the place that you got told someone who made your enemy, but who has the power to crush the one who killed you, your captain, is right here in this space. Like, Goo Deep is in this hex, the dungeon.
Right.
So
That's where the great power that we've made an enemy is, but
yes.
the he who shall not be fucked with.
Yes. And the swamp wizard is down here, and the water elemental is up here.
What was the name of the tower here? The Q3.5 tower?
That is the Spire of Sea.
Spire of Sea.
No relation to said sea dragon?
Well, the swamp dragon seems to want you to go fuck with it, so you could maybe start to draw inferences.
Fascinating.
I do like being egged on by a giant fuck you dragon. It
Likewise,
tends
to be
to
sure.
it tends to rustle the jimmies a little.
Ah, yes, but who's Jimmy's?
I don't know.
I suppose that's what we're here to find out.
Yeah, let's find Jimmy and see if he rustles.
And if he doesn't, let's make sure he does.
My next character is literally going to be named Jimmy, and I'm gonna be like, "Hi, my name's Jimmy, and I like to rustle."
So, in terms of your crew's plot, and given that some people have to go on the senior side, I figure we could just so I can know and have everything ready. At least like for what we assume will happen. Otherwise, it'll happen eventually. Where do you guys think you want to go, and in what order? Like, are you thinking of like, are you going to hit Goo Deep now? Are you going to run off to do these errands? Are you going to consider Hadhoo City still?
Um, I so at the bottom of the lagoon, that is something we've made an enemy that we don't know yet, but it can be of help to us. Is that what Ogdic said?
Yeah, Ogdyke is more or less, but it's also the instrument which could, lay low the one who killed your captain. Like, remember the Chaos
Gotcha.
Reaver who had the
Yep.
cultists with him and everything when
Yeah.
Gungnir died?
So that's not an immediate thing. That's like we could learn some further the plot type stuff there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, I think we just wholesale roll up on a water elemental, beat its whole ass, and get a pearl about it. That sounds like a good first run, and then go and see about helping a wizard. Yeah, is it a
All right.
wizard?
And you want to shoot straight, you want to shoot straight across, and make the run for. How do
I kind of don't want to do like a wholesale like hop, skip, and jump right through here. I think we should uh, hit some land, do some stuff, hit some land, do some stuff. Because Ogdak said, don't want to fight anything in open water. So if we can kind of land hop our way there, that's probably best, I think.
Okay, so do you want to go to Steed Isle?
I don't think it would be the worst idea if we can pick up some crew, maybe pick up some food on our way. That's probably preferable.
All right, so you want to run into Steed Isle. You want to like hug the southern coast on Steed Isle, basically.
Essentially, yeah. If we can plot out like maybe talk to the locals and more pirates and see if we can do some like gonna figure out some kind of lowly places that we can just kind of pillage and pick up a few volunteers or voluntoads and some food along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be the first thing is the elemental, unless Ogdyke was really hammering home the idea of fighting the other sea dragon, then that's something we could pursue. But like I said, this is all just up in the air. It's up to whatever the rest of the party wants to do as well. Whatever you're thinking. This is just kind of brainstorming.
Indeed.
It sounded to me like the sea dragon might be out of our level at the moment.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. I was thinking it's kind of way out of our element, and that would be one of those pursue it once we have more PCs.
Right. Yeah.
Also, everyone's getting 20 XP for the monastery loot, so definitely dinging the next level.
Ding.
Woo!
With that done, and so okay, you're basically the answer is you hit Steed Isle and then you hit the Spire of Sea. Sounds good.
Yes. Yep.
I will be ready for that, and I think that in a brief, we'll do a brief feedback phase and then cut it. Pat, what was your favorite part of the session?
All right. Well, I liked the chance to negotiate and meet the ferret. I like that we're kind of learning more and becoming more and more integrated into the intrigue that's going on here. I'm excited to see where that goes. So I guess that's what I'd like to see more of. More of the uh, whatever kind of interfaction conflicts are going on, because that's, you've set it up really nicely, and I'm excited to see where this leads.
Yeah, you're right in the middle of them. Preacher, hit me with, what was your favorite part? We want to see more of.
Favorite part would probably be um, the initial fight, getting to run back and forth between the kind of the cinematic of trying to help Yarla as well as trying to jump in with Trogborg and having the dragon come in and wholesale like reveal herself in a time that was greatly needed.
Yeah.
I would say more of I don't know, man. Like that, like the political intrigue and the talking is really fun and really neat. I like how you've planned this, but also the open world aspect of like, I just have points and you can, this is your sandbox. I just put sand in it for you. Like
Yeah.
it's, I don't know. I'm really digging it. I like,
Mhm.
I like more of the planning and strategizing battles and things like that. I think that would probably be the one thing that I would say more of is just being able to strategize in the future with our NPCs and be able to like you've done a really good job of like giving us some help and some friends and being able to say like where do you want them, and I don't know, that's just really fun for me. I'm really enjoying it. You're at the helm of this ship, and dude, it's fucking killer. I'm having a great time.
Yeah, as am I. Rumba.
All right. It was great to just go into that fight and just be like, oh, this is really bad. And just like seeing all those clutch rolls, like the natural 20 to survive. Wow. Also,
Mhm.
the Silver Ferret, and then also working on overthrowing the monarchy. I'm in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're taking out the fourth and first estates at once. No religion here. Well, I mean there
We
will
do
be
like a
religion.
good
The
revolution.
first estate is the church, second estate is nobility. So
Oh, items 1 and 2 off the list.
yeah. So third estate is going to be everything.
Time to see how it goes. The silver ferret. Yeah. So, anything you want to see more of? Or is the silver ferret plot line really?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to see about like how it's going to be when we go and see how these Republicans act because Trogborg has no idea about governments at all.
Amazing. All right. Well, with that, thank you for joining us. A little bit on the shorter side today, but it was a good time. And we are going to raid Veil XP. Actually, I don't think we will. On. Oop, oop. Gonna raid Mako Thresh. Alright, I will see you all on the flip side, dreamers. Thank you for coming out. It's been great. I wave to you from the shadows of darkness. Woo!